Hey old fart, welcome back to the channel. Jesse here. I am in my 40s and I'm wanting to get jacked, but I also want to live forever. And until I find the vampire gene that I know must be out there, I guess I'm just gonna have to work with these human genetics. And today we're gonna be talking about how awesome it is being in your 40s. Okay, I'm gonna try to spin it that way because it's easier to swallow this way.
My name is Jesse. I'm in my 40s and I'm on a mission to lengthen my lifespan while getting jacked. This is my channel.
You know, the problem with being younger is that your metabolism was so fast that you couldn't put on any muscle because you kept burning through all the calories. Well, guess what? Not anymore, guys. We win. Our metabolisms have slowed down, so we are anabolic machines. When we're not fighting anabolic resistance and when we're not getting injured, being that I'm a father, I need to be able to try to make it into the gym, hopefully as often as possible, usually between swimming lessons, chess class, not my own swimming lessons or chess class. This is my son's stuff, okay? So between going to Kumon, going to school, picking up, all those things. And so, but we win. We have won the battle with the metabolism because that's not a problem anymore, you see. We don't have to worry about the metabolism ruining our gains. This is another thing where whenever you're younger, you feel like you can't do cardio all the time because that's going to ruin your gains. Again, metabolism, baby. Nice and slow. Slow metabolism. So you get to do cardio every day. And you should do cardio every day if you're in your 40s or older. You should do cardio every day just in general. Because did you know that the most important muscle that you have, not that one, sir. Not that one, sir. This is a wholesome channel, okay? So move along with your filth. Your most important organ, oh God, okay, muscle. Okay, bringing it in. The most important muscle is your heart, right? So that is a muscle too, and it has to be worked out or else you're gonna have major problems. One of the issues that you may be suffering from in your 40s, if you're like most men, is the fact that you're either unaware of the ticking time bomb in your chest that will explode in your 50s, which is when most men have their heart attacks, or that or you're already well aware of it. It's something that myself, I've always had sort of just a knowing about my blood pressure. I remember I used to smoke and basically do everything really unhealthy. And I'll talk about that maybe on another episode. I remember going into the doctor, I had like sinus infections and all this stuff. I probably smoked a cigarette on the way there. And they were like, sir, we need to talk about your blood pressure. And I said, don't tell me about stuff like that. Just give me the medicine, make this go away. And that was the beginning. I think that was when I was 30. So blood pressure has always been something that I've watched and I've had to watch. Now, you might know more about me from my other channel or from the other things I do, the books I've written on breath work and how that works. So I've done a lot of work to try to mitigate stress, which is something that we're going to talk about on our testosterone. On the next time I talk about testosterone, we're going to talk about that. But today we're talking about the importance of cardio and how it is. A lot of times people talk about how it's going to kill your gains. And here's the problem. In some ways, they might be right. Okay. So when it comes to bulking, when it comes to we need to be in this caloric surplus, in some ways, they may be correct in the fact that, okay, you're burning through some calories. It's going to be harder to be in a caloric surplus. But here's the thing about being 40, baby, right? That metabolism is nice and slow. So when you boost that metabolism with your cardio, you're not really, it's not like it's going to kill your gains that much. And this is just based off of what I've experienced. Now, what if it does kill your gains? What if you could be getting more gains if you didn't do cardio? Well, again, this is that balance that I'm shooting for where I want to live longer and I don't want my muscle building to get in the way of my longevity. So I want these two things that are good for you, okay? Muscle building is good for you, and so is all these other things. We have to just be kind of comprehensive. That's what I'm thinking about. So what I do is zone 2 cardio 5 days a week. So every morning I get on this bike, and I don't know about, okay, guys, you tell me, all right? So I had so my wife comes to me, this is how I get this bike. I use a Peloton bike that is not on a subscription anymore. So it's like literally just a dead Peloton bike. And my wife came to me, I don't know, a few years ago. She's like, oh, Jesse, give me a, she doesn't really have an accent, but I'm telling the story. She said, please get me this, and I will work out every day. I'm going to use this Peloton bike. It's and these things are like 2,000. I forget how much money I spent. It's probably best that I forget how much money I spent. And I was like, hey, I'm a great husband. You know, maybe I'll hop on that thing now and then. And I actually hopped on it quite a bit, and I actually liked it. The programming is pretty good. The big-breasted women that tell you to go faster and harder, they're pretty awesome. I'm sure there's dudes on there too, but all I ever saw was, I don't know. There's dudes on there too, probably. But the point is, you know where this story is going. Eventually, she was like, I'm just kind of tired of it, and I don't really want to use it anymore. So here I have this like thousands of dollars worth of equipment here that I bought for her, and so it's what I use. It's what every morning I hop on there, I get my music on. It's just basically a stationary bike now that costs an enormous amount of money. But because I am a middle-aged man, I am not going to just like, I'm not going to pay the $50 a month so that I can have the women tell me to pedal harder. I know I can pedal harder. And honestly, I just want the zone 2 cardio. It keeps my blood pressure looking good. It keeps my heart rate down. It keeps me feeling good. And yes, it does burn a few extra calories because I am trying not to get too fat as I bulk. Right now, I'm in a bulking phase. I'm trying to get these guns to where they're actual guns. So that's another thing that's great about being in your 40s. It's the accumulated body dysmorphia. That is, I mean, it's fantastic. Just if you're watching this and you're younger, the amount of body dysmorphia that you have as a young man, I don't even remember it ever being close to maybe it's just, that's another thing to work on. If you're younger, keep working on that body dysmorphia. So basically, my cardio is just 30 minutes of zone 2 cardio, and I do it at a different time of day. And the reason I do it at a different time is actually because it's the only time I can fit in. But it just so happens that apparently I won the luck lottery of fitness, and I found out that separating your cardio from your weight training, so I'll do my cardio in the morning, I do my weight training in the evening. It just so happens that apparently this is like genius level timing. And the reason why I have to do it this way is because I have to take my son to school. We go to this school, he goes to this school that's like, they start at like 9 o'clock in the morning. This is different. We just recently moved to the Chicago area. They did it differently back where I'm from in Indiana. So we were from Southern Indiana, Southern boys in Indiana, almost to Kentucky. And back there, it was 8 a.m. You got out at 3:15. That's how it works. Over here, up here, it's 9 to 3:30. I don't get it. So I have to start my day a little bit later. I'm very fortunate that I don't have to go into an office. I am at work right now. So I work out of the home. And so that's one thing I do have that's in my favor, that I can sort of work that around. But if you can do your zone 2 or your cardio, any of your cardio apart from your muscle building, you're activating different elements of your genes. We'll get into the nerdy stuff later, but you're also ultimately, from what I've read, you're going to get the most out of both of these things by separating them. And so that happens to be what I do. So I separate the two, 30 minutes zone 2 cardio in the morning, and I'll do the weight training in the afternoon, which apparently is the optimal time for men to go into it. And the funny thing is, I've heard that it's whenever there's peak testosterone, but I know that's not true. I know that's not true. I've even tested my testosterone in the morning and in the evening. In the morning, it's like, I am all that is man. Like in the morning, my morning testosterone is almost 700, and I'm 44. So, I mean, live in jealousy. But in the evening, the first time I ever tested it, it was in the evening, it's like 300 something, right? So it goes really high, and then it just really kind of goes down over time. But anyway, apparently it has a lot to do with where your metabolism is, because we're diurnal. It has to do with your circadian rhythm. It has to do with a lot of things other than testosterone levels come into play with why an afternoon workout is better than a morning workout if you're doing muscle building. So I just happen to time it just perfectly. What I do is I pick up my son and then I say, okay, you do your homework over here. Once you're done with your homework, you go play basketball at the gym. You know, I'll be up in the weight room and being a distant, ignoring father who, of course, never feels guilty about that, right? So, and that's another thing. We're going to talk about that another time. The dad guilt of I've got goals of my own, and yes, I know I should be playing catch with you all the time because that's what a good dad does. But I also have to put in my workouts and do things, you know. And I have to get a job. I've got a job. I've got to work around the schedule. So, again, all about being a father, right? And this is why I think so many of us fall into decline, is because of all of these things we have to juggle, all these things going on. So do your cardio, because you're so lucky. Your metabolism is slow, so you need the cardio, and your heart's about to explode, so you need the cardio. It's not going to harm your gains. That's at least my opinion, my thoughts, and that's why I'm doing 30 minutes of zone 2 cardio every morning, 5 days a week. I take the weekends off, okay? I take the weekends off. And but I still do weight training on the weekends, but I just don't do the cardio because, you know, it's the weekends. I'm taking a little time off. What do you do? Are you doing cardio during the week? How do you do your cardio with your weight training? You tell me. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'm stupid. Tell me how stupid I am in the comments below. That will help my body dysmorphia too. So having brain dysmorphia and body dysmorphia at the same time, that might help. So how do you get your cardio in? What does it work for you? By the way, the reason I do the bike also is because I've torn both of my meniscuses, so my knees are shot. Of course, this is the beauty about being old, because I hated running anyway. So I have the perfect excuse. Sorry, I'm practically disabled here. I have to go. I'm going to do squats later on today, but I'm not going to go running because I can't. I'm basically crippled at this point, and I have to do the bicycle. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. You are an old fart, but you're gonna get so jacked, so ripped, and you're gonna live a long time. Let's see how far we can go with this. I'll see you next week.